Alright, so finally, the last books came in today. It was actually really funny because there was a guy at the library that I talk to often. He actually exchanged the first time movies, but usually he and I will exchange comics. But he and I will often exchange books. Recently, it's actually been like just to borrow, like whatever we whatever we are fine with parting for like a few months or so, we'll give each other. But usually it was to keep. Like he was the one that I got that Superman Shazam book from to keep. Also, I don't think I ever reviewed it on this or if I showed it off. Actually, I did because I counted it as a comic haul, and it was what was it? What was it? I should know it. Oh, there, it's right there. Robot Fighter. It was right, actually. I was having long boxes right there, right in front for me to see. Magnus Robot Fighter. So a lot of books, like here and there. Like I would say it's like every, if I had to give an average, it'd be every 6 months. Very, very, very infrequent. But will still give me stuff. But I was talking to him because he and I are obviously both huge fans of comics. And I was talking to him today, and I was like, "Hey, by the way, the truck come for interlibrary loans." And he said he didn't know. He asked a staff member. Even the other staff member was like, "Oh no, because there's two systems for library books. Because there are two trucks, and there's one that comes in every day." And she's like, "No, that one was Monday, Wednesday, Friday." And like a second later, I get the books. It was so awesome. I knew it was going to happen. It's going to be like 3 o'clock. I come home. The last two books would be in. And either way, I was going to film today because there was just two books. And I was like, you know what? I'll just say what they are. But they're all here. So let's go over them. First one up is this one I never even heard of before. And I haven't really heard of the author either. It was just one that I got in. Oh, so this pile, by the way, is I got their image work from. So almost each and every single, actually every single writer here, I have their image work from. At least a significant amount of their image work from these authors, each and every one of these authors. So I'll say who the author is, and then I'll say what the book is obviously saying. But I usually don't say who the author is, but I will for these separate views. But that's all, each and every one. The next time I do these, what I'll be reading for the next few weeks, it's going to be just miscellaneous. Like Tom Taylor, he's done nothing for Image Comics, but I want to check out his Neverlander series my library has. But I'll do that next time. I didn't always do this. I'd always put it in like, always do this whatever I wanted to get, no rules, but regulations or whatever. But I want to make a difference. I want to make a change 6 months ago, and I liked this little change. Actually, not 6 months ago. I think it was back in August. When I started my job, and that was because I work at a school late August. Very educated, by the way, those who want to know. I've said this many times, but some of you are new here, so I'll always reiterate. And this whole thing here, too. I'm sure this confused a whole bunch of you, but I do feel like it's worth mentioning. So first up is Nate Cosby's Cowboy, A Boy and His Horse. Usually I'm not like the biggest, I don't usually pick up the kids books, but this one looks good enough. I looked at the artwork. I was able to check do like a little preview on Amazon, and it looked good enough. It wasn't. I have no real. I don't have any real high expectations for this, but this book being a really smaller sized book, it is an OGN, meaning this was all in one. It's not like 1 through 3 of Cowboy that was previously released in issues. At least I don't think it is. It's all in one, and that's going to be the case for the first 4 books. They only have one that I completely forgot about, but this is Kenny Porter's kids book, Fearless. Kenny Porter has actually not written a whole lot because he's somewhat a new writer. I think he's just done like some things for DC, and then even then that's probably the most he's written, and that's like what 3 to 4 series. But I want to check out this book. He actually, when he was doing an interview with Near My Condition, this was one of the first books he mentioned. And again, like with Cowboy, this is one I just want to check out because the author. And I don't usually check out kids' books, but every now and then I make an exception. It's usually because the author. So Fearless, Kenny Porter. Next up, we have one that I thought was a mini-series, but it's not. It's an OGN, and that is Captain America Red, White, and Blue. Now, this is an anthology, so not every single story in here is written by the same person, obviously, but I mainly got this because Paul Dini does a story in here. But I'm just going to check who else is in here. Might as well. So Paul Dini, he's like a 2-page story. Tony Salmos, Richard. I'm only gonna mention Bruce Jones. I'm only gonna mention it if it's worth mentioning. Paul Pope. If I recognize the author. A lot of no names here. Mark Wade. Because I'm going. There's a bunch of stories in here. Like 5-page stories, not even. Jeff Jensen got 2 stories. Lucky duck. Dan Jurgens. Yes, this one please shouldn't count. I may just read this one like right away and do that, then count this as the post-credit scene review comic. I don't know. Doesn't really matter, but usually I don't like mixing it, but I was forced to because I didn't know any better. And I went get this book either way. But yeah, Captain America, Red, White, and Blue. I believe this came out. I don't know when this came out, but it was celebrating something. How old is this? This book is definitely older. It's definitely 2011. I don't know if it would have been after he died back in Civil War. I don't know. And that's so actually that would be 2007 when the book came out. But this is an OGN, so I'm just gonna go by what it says. No, wait, it's 2 issues. It says Captain America issue 50, and then Marvel Spotlight Captain America Remembered. So this technically isn't a OGN, but yeah, first printing 2007. No, I was right the second time. So 2007. So it came out after he died. So that's the whole reason they're doing this. I figured that was what it was, but I didn't want to make. I always want to make sure. Want to be sure. Want to make sure. So that's why that Jeff Jensen gets 2 stories in there. They liked him, I guess. Then we have Alex de Campy's Bad Girls. Yeah, I know. Alex de Campy is not even like kind of, just straight up is a murderer. She murdered Ed Piscor. Not like she caused his suicide. She didn't actually murder the guy. Like, she wasn't actually one that. She didn't stab him, whatever, like shoot him, whatever. But she did bully him to suicide, which that is killing somebody. I don't care how you. There's no other way to look at it other than that. But anyways, getting it off, I don't want to get into that. There's 5,000 other people who've done it better than I have. Again, your boy Zach. Just do your boy Zach, Ed Piscor. He has covered it phenomenally and gone like in depth and researched everything, and like one of the best like ways to find out the information. It's awful story, but one of the most informative videos was him covering that whole thing. But I also get books. I'm not going to look up every single author I get a book from to make sure they didn't say anything too bad on Twitter or did this bad thing. But I will always mention it if I remember to, or if it is significant enough. But this one, I wanted to check this one out. It looked good enough. I flipped through it and it looked like it was being right up my alley. I'm not too picky with comics, If you just give me an interesting enough story, I won't go too deep into the politics. Oh, they said this and they this line in the book and not ruin the book for me. Mother of Madness is the only exception for that, and Man Eaters. But even then, Man Eaters is so bad that it's good. But Mother of Madness is just kind of boring, honestly. I do want to read that again, give it a second chance, but not right away. Not right away. Not anytime soon. Maybe I'll do it like a New Year special. I'll be the New Year special. Actually, well, I have a Christmas special. Actually, I already have a New Year special. You know what? We'll do it in February. Do that. I'll probably do it before. I will do it before. Maybe in early December. Maybe early Christmas present for you guys. But yeah, Bad Girls, Alex de Campy. I'll not go over the artists because that's. So for comic hauls, I'll do exactly this. I'll be like Suicide Squad Blaze collects 1 through 3 of Suicide Squad Blaze, written by Simon Spurrier with artwork done by Aaron Campbell and colored by Jordi Belair. And then I'll show the artwork inside. That's plenty for comic hauls. This is just showing I'll be reading and / reviewing very soon here. I'll be reading in the next few weeks, and this is what can be expected. These are the comics that can be expected to be reviewed in the coming months. Speaking of which, I gotta go get some more comics. But comic hauls are I like keeping it different. No real reason why I do that, other than the fact that it's just the way I've been doing it since day one. With very little change. One thing I did change was specifying what's an OGN, and ordering those, and then ordering them to ones that I've been reading for the first time. Speaking of which, most of them are rereads. Like a good majority are rereads. That's just the way I did it. You know, I like to have a lot of ones that I'm reading for the first time. I don't like to do a whole lot of rereads. But this time, what's nice about it is that even the rereads, even those, there's not a whole lot of them that I haven't read. There's a lot of rereads, but some of them I haven't read for so long they might as well be ones I'm reading for the first time. So that's what I meant to say. But that's the whole thing about I just want to mention that real quick. All right. So the first one, including Suicide Squad Blaze, first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. The first 21 are rereads out of 22, 23, 24, 25. That's insane. I can only past 25. That's how much I used to read back in the day. Back before I had a job, and 25 books per library visit. Now, Suicide Squad Blaze is only 3 issues, so I'll probably read that right away. Those of you who want to know how I do it. So I like keeping it at 22 books per library visit. You know, the books I've been getting, reading, yada, yada, yada. I keep that at 22. The reason for why that is because I'll read 11 on one night and 11 the next night. And that's as much as I can do. Now, the downside to that is during the week when I get home at like 3 o'clock each and every day on average. That's from 3 o'clock to when I go to bed at 10 o'clock. I have pretty much non-stop reading. I'll catch up on YouTube, but that's about all I do. And of course, eat dinner and go to the bathroom, obviously. But other than that, I'm just reading. And I don't mind that. I am a huge avid reader. That's one of the best things about being in a school is that I can, be like, hey, not every book I'm going to read is going to be awesome, but here is something you might like. In fact, I had an English class. I'm so pissed I got switched out of it because they were going to the library. And it was like the last day I was there. And I was like eager to recommend them books. They didn't want to hear it though. They respect me, of course, but they didn't want to hear it. They're like, dude, we like you. You're really nice to us and all that shit, but we're getting what we're going to get. It's like, alright, that's fine. I think I did kind of talk about it. I think I did though. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of pissed I got switched out of that class. They all knew me. They all had a nickname for me too that I came up with because I was doing a booklet and it was Jay Sunny and my birthday 5/27. And they said, "Oh, Sunny." And they all call me Mr. Sunny now. Yeah, and switched out of that class. Just when I was getting to know them really well. But the schedule I have now is actually pretty nice. But I could get switched out of 4th period and have that class. It was the exact period I had it. And that'd be nice to do that, but whatevs. But anyways, Suicide Squad Blaze. Now, for the rereads, they fall under 3 criteria, and all 3 criteria are met. This is the every 6-month rule. Just really like this book, want to read it every 6 months. It started out as one I didn't really like, and it's getting a second chance to. That's the second thing. As I didn't really like it, I'm getting a second chance because I'll probably like it more the second time now that I have not as high expectations, or that I know what I'm going in for. Or into. And that is kind of how this started out as. But the second time I read it, I really liked it. So now it's every 6 months. Every 6 months, I really liked it. I want to read it every 6 months. Then we have the third criteria, which this is Scalped Volume 1 by Jason Aaron. They didn't have all 10 volumes at my local library's Interloan system. They do now. So I cannot wait to finish this outstanding series. I loved this series to death. This is, like, if you want to know why I'm so crazy about Jason Aaron books and why I don't consider him to be a bad writer even these days, it's because of series like this. I remember absolutely devouring this series. I'm so pissed off I didn't have volumes 9 and 10. I was reading them in the deluxe editions. I think for now I'll just stick to the trade paperbacks, at least for the first 2 volumes, but I know for a fact I don't have all 5, or how many there are. I think there's actually 6, because there's 60 issues, trade hardcovers. But first volume, Scalped, Jason Aaron. All three Star Wars books. First up, the crossover Vader Down, and the two Star Wars books, Star Wars by Jason Aaron and Darth Vader by Kieran Gillen. So the crossover by both Jason Aaron and Kieran Gillen. All three of these books are ones it's a really damn good series. I want to read again every 6 month rule. I'm not super into. I'm not like really big into Star Wars. I never really was. I watch the movies. You know, I'm kind of like mildly excited to see what they do next to the movies, even though the sequel trilogy was awful. But I watched the original trilogy, except for the sixth one, which I'm going to go back in time. I am going to start watching those movies again very soon here. Probably after I'm done with the stack of movies that I have to read now. When I'm done with this stack of movies I have to watch now, I'll get on Star Wars. So I'll probably be this weekend or whenever. And I'll watch Star Wars and do like a binge watch. I'll watch the original trilogy. Then I'll go on to the prequels and sequels again. And Rogue One and Solo, obviously. But again, not a huge fan. I watched the original trilogy, the first two at least. Like those enough. Just, I like them. I understand why people love them, but I'm not like super into Star Wars. But this has been such a thrill ride. Like I love these comics. They're really damn good. They remind me of everything I like about Star Wars and more. Obviously not better than the original trilogy, just really fast paced and investing, and they keep me hooked from page 1 to page whatever, how many pages there are. But yeah, all three of these rereads, reading them every 6 months. This one's written by Jason Aaron and Kieran Gillen. This is Jason Aaron's run, and this is Kieran Gillen's run. Then we have Rogue and Gambit by Stephanie Phillips. This is giving me a second chance. I wasn't a huge fan of the book when I first read it. Oh, so it said 25. It's actually 27, because I forgot about 2 books. 28 if you count, or actually, 29 if you count. Nope, sorry. 29, because there's 4 books total, but they're each the same series, just second volume in the series. So 26, so 29. 29 items. That's how confused people even further. Okay, Stephanie Phillips is Rogue and Gambit. This is giving it a second chance rule, because I didn't like it the first time, and again, I'm not too picky about it. I thought I'd like it. I thought I'd at least be investing. It was just not what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking, but I want to give it a second chance. Preacher, my favorite comic of all time, graphic novel of all time, enough said, no contest, is obviously every 6 months. It's book 3, by the way. Garth Ennis writes this, by the way. I made that. Oh, I just realized we could undo Stephanie Phillips back to back. Whoopsies. It's the other Stephanie Phillips book I didn't like too much, and that is Grimm. Same thing as Rogue and Gambit. Want to give it a second chance. That was supposed to be like one of her better books, and I would say my favorite Stephanie Phillips book I've read thus far has been, let's see, I liked Nuclear Family. What is the other one I really liked she wrote? I can't think of it. Oh, her Harley Quinn run. That was really damn good. Unfortunately, there's no volume 2 because the lending library got too recently, and they can't lend to be this early. It's been way too soon. Sucks, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Speaking of books, I'm gonna check Amazon. Got a book coming in today. It's taking a sweet old time coming in. That happens sometimes. It's out for delivery, so there's that at least. Yeah, not even 9 stops away yet. No idea where it is. It's here, but it's around in the area, but could be like way in the next town. Anyways, Midnighter by Steve Orlando. This is because I forgot so this was right before I started my job, and after that, when I started my job, it was kind of like, okay, so I was checking out a lot of books from my local library because I had so much damn time in my hands. I was doing absolutely nothing as far as jobs went. The occasional yard work help with my dad, but for the most part, I had every single day of the week to myself. For the most part, had maybe a little Zoom meeting with my career advisor here and there, but like almost nonstop, no interruptions, time to myself. Thus, I got to reading and that was a lot of books I was reading. It was like 33. It's a huge ass stack of comics, about this size, honestly, but add like a few more in. And it was 25 books per day I was reading, and 25 issues of a comic per day. Like I do Spider-Man and I do Batman, like one of those per day. It was 25 of those per day. A lot of reading. And when I have a job now, and most of the day is gonna be taken up by that job, I was like, okay, when the hell am I gonna have time to read that fat stack of comics? So Midnighter Volume 2 went on hiatus for a little while there. And now I'm picking back up, and I'm picking Volume 1 back up, and will be, so I can read Volume 2 and finish off that run at least. I know there's more to it than that, and it looks like the library should have Volumes 2 and the Apollo and Midnighter miniseries, but not 100% sure they'll have even Volume 2. I'm pretty sure they said Lending Library had Volume 2, but not 100% sure. But Midnighter by Steve Orlando. I liked it enough, so if I had read the whole entire series, I would say it was every 6-month rule. Now, not every book is treated the same for every 6 months, obviously. Something like Midnighter is not treated the same as Preacher, obviously. But I still like those books enough to want to read them again very, very soon. And I say every 6-month rule, it's on average. Preacher is every year, I would say, because there's 6 volumes in that book, in that series. Like 6 books, complete collections. And those are thick complete collections. They collect at least 12 issues. That's a lot of book. 60 issues, 66 issues total for Preacher. Because there's like 60 issues of the series itself, and then some spin-offs. Gotham Academy, Volume 3, Yearbook. This is written by both Brendan Fletcher and... just Brendan Fletcher's time. Never mind. I thought it was, what's her face? Becky Cloonan. But no, it's just Brendan Fletcher for this volume. It used to be him and Becky Cloonan, but nope, just this guy. Just Brendan Fletcher. Still the same rule, both of them, and then books from Image. I have all of it from Image. Only thing I don't have of Brendan Fletcher is his anthology stuff, but everything gets released physically in graphic novel format, at least I have. Secret Avengers Volume 3 of 3 by A.L. Scott. Every 6-month rule. I love this series. This series has been so damn good. I come back to it every now and then, and I've never regretted a decision. Ultimate Fantastic Four, Volume 3. Finally the right one. I thought like the right one because I said the exact same thing. It was Ultimate Fantastic Four, Volume 3, End Zone. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Graphic novel, awesome. Warren Ellis, awesome. But they gave me the hardcover, and 2 of these go into 1 hardcover. So when you're at Volume 3 hardcover, that's more like Volume 6 and 7 of these. So obviously far behind. But that was a while ago too, which was really annoying, but whatevs. But feeling like this one I'm trying to finish off the Ultimate Fantastic Four run. So, and also every 6-month rule, but just trying to finish it off. So that's a 3. I'll say it again: 3 criteria. Want to give it a second chance, like with Rogue and Gambit and Grimm. Every 6-month rule, like Preacher especially, in Secret Avengers, and Gotham Academy, which that started out as a first criteria actually, but now it's in second criteria of every 6-month rule. And then third criteria is it looks like they have the full series. I was not able to finish it before. Now I can. That's why I'm getting it. That's why I'm rereading it, to refresh this whole noggin. So 3 criteria for rereads. Batgirl by Gail Simone, the most overhated, underappreciated new 52 book out of them all. People hate this series for no damn reason other than, they mess with her origin and an oracle and everything like that. And yeah, I get that, but this is new 52. It's supposed to be a new interpretation of the characters. They kind of are going back to basics. Yes, they still mention Oracle. And yes, I understand it's been nice to have her be Oracle, but this is supposed to go back to basics. And that's what they wanted to do, and so they did. And Gail Simone's run is like 1,000 times better than Brendan Fletcher's run, which I still think is. I still think Brendan Fletcher's run on Batgirl is the worst run of comics I've read, and one of the worst comics period that I've read. Now, what I mean by that, well, runs of a character like this is Gail Simone's run on Batgirl. She wrote about 30 issues of Batgirl before getting kicked off and then replaced by Brendan Fletcher over some bullshit. And then Brendan Fletcher came on board and finished off and did 31 to 52, roughly. I don't know. I'm just throwing out a ballpark figure here. I don't know exactly, but I want to say it's roughly how many issues Gail Simone wrote. But yeah, every 6 months rule. I like this run. Abbott by Saladin Ahmed. Every 6 months. Give me a second chance. But it's the first time. I don't think I've read much by Saladin Ahmed. I can say it was actually really good. Even his run on on Ms. Marvel, I was like, it was alright. And that's coming from someone who already doesn't have a huge hopes for Ms. Marvel, but actually was a bit disappointed the first time he read it. So, but yes, Abbott, Saladin Ahmed, every 6 month roll. I'm sorry, no, damn it. Abbott by Saladin Ahmed, giving a second chance, and also because this is also when I put off to the side along with Midnighter, I put it to the side, and then, come on, spit it out, brain. Come on, brain, kick in. Oh, and then because there's a second volume of the series I was never able to read. Never able to read, but never, put in the request for that. But Saladin Ahmed, Abbott, giving a second chance. And also, I'd say it's 2 and 3. And that was more because I took a break from those books. Because again, I was checking out way too many to put that one in there. So I had to put some to the side for now. Because again, I wasn't sure how much I'd be able to read come the first few days of my job. Then once I realized, okay, I could read 11, I was like, all right, do 22 books per visit to the library, per books I'll be reading for the next few weeks. Now, I know I said it was 29, well, I'm going to be putting some off to the side for now. And it'll be very interesting to see how much I read when I read, all that shit. But I have some OGN, so that helps. But anyways, and more me, what I decide to read first. Valkyrie, Jane Foster. This one is giving it a second chance. Did not like it at all the first time I read it. And this is both Al Ewing and Jason Aaron. Al Ewing has done one anthology, one 5-page anthology story for Image, so technically it counts. But Jason Aaron has obviously done a lot for Image. But there you go. Valkyrie, Jane Foster, Volume 1. This one I absolutely adored, and it's actually written by 2 people who've done a significant amount for Image Comics. Matthew Rosenberg and Patrick Kindlon, both of who actually in the artist done something. So Matthew Rosenberg and Hood, I don't know who they're. Doesn't say. They both. Oh no, sorry, Michael Boss, I think is one. I don't know about Hood, or whatever his first name is. I believe it's Michael. They're doing a series now called What's the Furthest Place from Here? But that was that's it for Image, and Patrick Kindlon has done a bunch of series too, so win-win here. But this is We Can Never Go Home, Volume 1. That's what the series is called. We Can Never Go Home, but the Volume 1 is called What We Do is Secret. But this was absolutely phenomenal, fast-paced, on the edge of your seat from start to finish. Absolutely phenomenal work, both these guys. So, obviously, every 6 month rule. But I have not read this in a long time. Cannot wait to read that again. I might just read it first things first. Then we have Avengers, The Enemy Within. This is the crossover, the crossover with Captain Marvel's, that run that was going on currently, and Avengers. But the current, the 2012 Kelly's Pseudoconic Captain Marvel run and Avengers. But there you go. So it's a crossover between Avengers Assemble and Captain Marvel, both of which I believe were written by Kelly Sue DeConnick. Like both runs were at the time were written by Kelly Sue DeConnick. Then the crossover. So there you go. Written by Kelly Sue DeConnick. And yet again, I'm gonna say that like just like put your politics of how you feel about her aside. I think you really like this. I think most people really like this Captain Marvel runs. I did. You know, I'm not a huge Captain Marvel fan, so I think those who just want an interesting enough Captain Marvel story with actual stakes will like this run. Just fine. Then we have Rebels by Brian Wood. Every 6 months we'll buy Flawless. It's phenomenal. Absolutely love this series. I believe I actually decided this as being the pick of the week. Even better. Like, not even better, but, you know what I mean. Yeah, Rebels. Brian Wood. Wonder Woman by Brian Azzarello. Another insanely underrated new 52 book. Now, I wouldn't say overhated because no one seems to absolutely hate this book. So I'd say more just underrated. Like an absolutely phenomenal Wonder Woman run. Check it out if you haven't already. And it's again every 6 month rule. I've read the entire new 52 Wonder Woman run. This one is kind of giving it a second chance. That's Final Crisis. I liked it a lot the first time I read it, and just whatever reason I was like ready to be done with it by issue 3 when I read it most recent time. So I'd say 1.5. You know, for criteria of why I might reread this book. And I don't mind confusing. It was just I was kind of done with it. I don't know why. And then the final reread, and that is Global Frequency. And I'm actually not finally. And for once, I'll be reading this in deluxe edition format. Written by Warren Ellis and deluxe edition. Oh yeah, this is by Grant Morrison, by the way. This is Grant Morrison for Final Crisis. But Global Frequency Deluxe Edition, reading this in deluxe edition for the first time, written by Warren Ellis, and this is 1.5 in the middle. Every time I reread it, I find more and more to like about it. But it has yet to become like a groundbreaking story that I recommend or anything like that. It's like a very light recommendation. Like if you see it at a discount, you wouldn't be. I can't imagine anyone being too pissed off that they spent, half. They got half off, but they didn't like it. Like, oh, I could have gotten this instead. But no, you got it for half off, and you got it for half off, and it's the deluxe edition. It's a win-win in my book. Unless your local library had it and you could have gotten someone else that your library didn't have, then yeah, even I'd be pissed. But getting this for $15 would be pretty good deal either way. Now onto the ones I'll be reading for the first time. First off, going to my personal collection. First up, will be both these are from Image Comics, by the way. Both these series are from Image. A Man Among Ye, or Ye, volumes 1 and 2, written by Stephanie Phillips. So every month I try and get a few of my Image books read, because at the end of the year for my New Year special, I'm going to be doing every single Image book I read thus far this year. Floppies excluded. Although maybe I'll even do floppies, because I don't have a whole lot of Image comics in floppy form, but I know I'll forget it even then. But mostly graphic novel format, like this format, the collected edition format. Man Among Ye, volumes 1 and 2, and Black Science, which was written by Rick Remender. Black Science, volumes 6 and 7. I'm trying to get this read for December, so I'm reading 2 of them per month. Because I didn't think to... this is volume 5, sorry. This is volume 5. I just realized that. I made a mistake. Where's volume 6, and how did I not realize that I made a mistake? Wait, hang on. What the hell? Where's volume 6? There's not a drill. It's on the floor? Did I grab too many? Well, I'm gonna have to find volume 6. It's not here. It's on the ground. I put it there. It's not even on my shelf. We are legit missing volume 6. Did I just never own it? 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, I made oopsies. So, volumes 6 and 7 of Black Science, written by Rick Remender. There's all the populations 26, 29, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Oh, it was thicker. Maybe because issue 30 was a special issue. I don't know. Alright, so there you go. 2 ones in my personal collection. The way I do this is because some series are only 4 issues. Usually what would happen is like 2 series would be only 4 issues long. Like I'd have like giant, what's a good example? Like an X-Men book and a Spider-Man book. Both those would collect the first 4 issues of those respective series. So I would finish up Spider-Man and put him in Mungye, and then finish up X-Men and then put in Black Science. So it was still, instead of being 23 books, it was 25 books for at least one more night when I finish up the 5-issue series. Again, I read 1 issue per day of each book. Used to, but read 1 issue of any book per day. Now it's every other. So first issues every first 11 books, and the next day it's the final 11, one of those per day. I know I'm still doing a lot of reading, but that's because I come home at like 3 o'clock every afternoon. A lot of time. Between 3 o'clock and 10 o'clock. And of course the weekends I usually do have a lot of time on my hands. I will, especially when it's winter months come up. And that'll be interesting. But now back to the library books. And again, these are all ones I'm reading for the first time. So I haven't read a single page of these books yet. Godfell. This is by Christopher Zabala. Every now and then, just look to see what's new and what's new for my local library to have. And this book was very new, so I was like, it's coming out this year. I'm not going to be able to get it. I did. It's in my hands, ain't it? But Christopher Zabala is one of those writers that I'm very hit or miss. Absolutely hated his Dirtbag Rapture series. The first time I read it, I thought it was okay. And the second time I read it, for whatever reason, I must have been in a bad mood because I absolutely hated it. Like, it was like torture, actually. But then I read his Welcome Back series, and that was pretty damn good. Like, I was like, this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say, as long as you give me a series that's interesting and investing throughout, and it's not too annoying, and the characters aren't annoying, I'll give you guys a free pass. You know, I'll say, hey, this book is good enough, you know, check it out. That is the bare minimum. And that's what Christopher Zabala is. He's a bare minimum writer. I'm not expecting too much from him when I read his stories, and when he surprises me, I will always give credit where credit is due. And Welcome Back did indeed surprise me. And I also read his Blank. Mid. No, not as good as Welcome Back, not as bad as Dirtbag Rapture. So very hit or miss for Christopher Zabala. Have not read anything that's been groundbreaking by him. Will this break new ground? We shall see. So, this is another Krakoan-era X-Men book. And Krakoan-era X-Men, for the longest time, I just got them, you know? For the longest time, I was like, okay, so I should probably get the Dawn of X books. The library doesn't have all of them. But now I'm like, I'm just gonna get whatever the fuck I want to get for X-Men books. Who cares if I'm confused? As long as I'm not absolutely lost, I should be fine. And for now, I've not been too terribly lost. You could, like, they don't really talk to one another. They do and they don't. But it's kind of like how it was back in the day, I feel. So far, so good. But this is Immortal X-Men by Kieran Gillen. Have not heard the best about this series, but I really do like Kieran Gillen's writing. And I feel like the people that criticized it already weren't fans of Kieran Gillen's writing. Other than his really damn good stuff like Journey into Mystery and Looking at the Vine. You know, I've not read a single Kieran Gillen book I've not liked yet. I've read a good amount of his work. Not like, I've read his Journey into Mystery, really like that. His Young Avengers. His Young Avengers is probably the only series I can credit, might just be a thumbnail by the way, that I didn't really like. But that was the second time I read it, and I was more just being annoyed by the mannerisms, how different it was from the absolutely phenomenal Alan Heinberg run. And Jim Chung, I believe, the other writer. Yes, exactly that. Jim Chung was the artist, not writer. The book came in. Alright, so book's in now, so it's Clean Rum. I knew this would happen, by the way. The book coming when I'm filming. Clean Rum by Gail Simone. This is. I was dying to read this series ever since Neighbor Condition talked about it. Gail Simone already wrote Batgirl. Again, like with Kieran Gillen, have not hated anything she's written, and I've read a good amount of what she's read. I've read a lot of what she's written. Saying good amount is overselling it, but I've read a fair amount of what she's written, and I haven't hated anything yet. So Clean Rum, once I found out Clean Rum, it's like, yeah, check this out. Never thought to look at my local library, and I think even then, it wasn't. It was, I guess it's misspelled because it wasn't showing up. So you'd think I would have looked it up. Maybe I just forgot. But cannot wait to read this series. Reading for the first time. So, and I don't know anything about it either. I like going in completely blind for a series like this. Then finally, last and kind of least, this is a series I really only got because of who was writing it, and that is Paul Cornell, and that is Doctor Who by Paul Cornell, Volume 1, The 5 Doctors. I have not watched a single episode of Doctor Who, any of Doctor Who, so I only barely know what it's about. I know it has time travel, and TARDIS is the time travel thing, and that's all I know. So, going in like almost 100% completely blind. Hopefully, this isn't like Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 6, where it's a continuation of the series. Hopefully, this is just a random ass, like, just out of continuity kind of thing. For the most part, like how Simpsons comics is. Hopefully, it's the Simpsons comics of licensed comics. Otherwise, I will be very confused. But other than that, it's Paul Cornell. I really like his writing. I really liked his other book I read by him. The other one he did for, it was indie publisher. It was, what was it? I forget what it's called. But I read it recently. But it was a pick of the week that week. But that, as I say, is that. I'm pretty sure I mentioned every last author for every last book I showed off. But these, if I had to pick what I was most excited to read, it's this pile. Like, I really like doing I got this book from, written by Gail Simone. I got this book from her, this is for Image. Now I want to check out other books she's written. It's a weird thing. I know it's a weird stigma of mine. It is something I can never fully explain, other than how I've explained it thus far. But that's the way I am. It's the way I will always be. Now, why Image specifically? It's probably a burning question you guys all have. It was just an indie publisher I have the most luck with. Like, Vault Comics, I'm kind of like, yeah, they're kind of expensive. But Image Comics is the best pricing and the best overall quality. Now, I'm not bashing Vault. I'm not bashing Dark Horse or Boom Studios or any other publisher. It's just the upsides have kind of far outweighed the downsides for me for Image Comics. But that, as I say, is that I have I've yapped long enough, as the kids say. I'm pretty sure I mentioned every last author here. But if I didn't, I didn't. If I did, I did. That, as they say, is that. And every last book I could show off did not have to say, oh, this book hasn't come in yet. This year's that one, and that one's that one. Nope. They all came in again because the library is really considerate. And because I know how the library is now. I've been there for 4 years. I should know how the library is for interlibrary loans. Sometimes they surprise me, but for the most part, I know what's up. That's it.